Hello, good evening. It's 9 p.m. time for the English news. The top stories of this Tuesday, 19 January 2016 are: the head of state chair the Council of Ministers.
Those were the top stories. Welcome to our newsroom. Under the chairmanship of His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, President of the Republic, Head of Government, has held this Thursday, 19 January 2016, the charity meeting of this Council of Ministers. Many texts have been reviewed and approved. For more details, listen the Minister of Foreign Affairs, spokesperson of the government.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Sous la présidence du chef de l'État, Son Excellence M. Ismail Omar Guelleh, le Conseil des ministres a tenu sa 3e séance en ce mardi 19 janvier 2016, était inscrite à l'ordre du jour.
Under the chairmanship of His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, President of the Republic, Head of the Government, has held this Tuesday, 19 January 2016, the third meeting of the Council of Ministers. Many issues have been reviewed and approved as the following texts. Department of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation spokesman Mr. Mohammed Ali Yusuf of the government. The first question, communication on the evaluation report of the panels of the African Mechanism for Evaluation by the RPRM to the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation has made a communication to the Council on the report of panels of the RPRM, and recall that this mechanism is the fruit of innovative reflection and Africa on its governments, which volunteers acceding member state of the African Union. In effect, no country has chosen sovereignly to accede, and this accession marks our commitment to observe the principle beyond democracy and good governance economic policy aimed at the sustainable development of the whole society. He indicated that this report reflects a realistic diagnosis and that is exercise aimed to the dissemination of those the best participation at the ratification of the error under the process of governance and socio-economic development. It has said that the report highlighted the issues and defeat the force and the weakness of the governance in our country. The objective of the MIEP allows the promotion of political stability to improve economic growth, to achieve a more sustainable development and accelerate the integration at the sub-regional level and the continental. Finally, he indicated that this report will be present before the Forum of the Head of State of African State for the adoption and implementation. The second question concerned a bill concerning approval of a diagram Director of Urban and Regional Planning of achieved places of Ali Sabih, Arta, Dukhal, Abokh and Tajara. These diagram director have for objective the creation of our own condition has promote an urban development coherent and sustainable, responding to the requirements socio-economic own has each city has short, medium and long term. These framework document and guidance are together with the plans of action laying down the modality of execution of objective and direction of development tools. They also propose strategies for sustainable urban development taking into account the impact of the risk, natural and climate change, adapted and realistic, allowing its effective implementation. The third question is related to a draft decree on the creation of a steering committee of the second draft of the reduction beyond urban poverty in Djibouti. The Department of Housing, in collaboration with the institution concerning the first draft of the reduction of urban poverty of 2008-2014, this third project has provided positive outcome, including the improvement of access and basic infrastructure and the community service by the construction of 4 lines, and their drainage has the inside and outside of the district 5 to improve the impact of Prelude 1. The government has requested the assistance of the World Bank, which has granted the funding of the second project, which is Prelude 2. In the framework of a credit stake of $950,000 in Djibouti franc for the improvement of infrastructure, the strengthening of institutional capacity, and the citizens' participation. The fourth question concerned a draft act concerning the approval of the financial account of the final stage. Al-Hajj Hassan Gouleid Abtidon have been also approved. The spokesman of the government tell us more information.
La quatrième question concerne un projet de loi portant approbation des comptes financiers définitifs du stade Al-Hajj Hassan Gouleid Abtidon.
The fourth question concerned a draft act concerning the approval of the financial account of the final stadium Al-Hajj Hassan Gouleid Abtidon for the fiscal year of 2010. This account settled in product to 41,823,000 franc Djibouti and load to 3,886,000 franc Djibouti. A result put to 2,955,000 franc Djibouti. The fifth question concern is relative to a bill on the approval of the financial account of the final stadium Al-Hajj Hassan Gouleid Abtidon for the fiscal year of 2011. This financial account settled in product to 42,875,000 franc Djibouti. The sixth question is relative to a bill on the approval of the financial account in the final stadium Al-Hajj Hassan Gouleid Abtidon for the fiscal year of 12. This financial account settled in product to 42,348,000 franc Djibouti, a net result on 9,067,000 franc Djibouti. The seventh question concerned a draft law on the approval of the financial account of the final stadium Al-Hajj Hassan Gouleid for the exercise of 2013.
The head of state, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, has received 3 young Djiboutians who traveled throughout the country in order to ascertain the situation of their compatriot from Obokhta, Jura, Ali Sabi and Dikhil Arta, and to the capital with the sole task to improve their living condition. Hamadou Mohamed Aramis, Mukhtar Mohamed Hussein, Saleh Abdullah and Zaid are the 3 Djiboutian youth in this purely patriotic adventure in which the ultimate goal is to bring to the decision-making sphere to profound aspiration to the entire people of Djibouti. We transcribe all grievances raised from Djibouti from all regions in document and detail against the book and submit to the President of the Republic, told the national press. The group's most pious Mr. Hamadou Mohamed Aramis said, thanking the head of state for the honor done to his group by personally receiving with the press. Mr. Aramis has insisted that his group is apolitical and that we should put this contribution in the context of many initiatives to the Djiboutian civil society.
The Fruit Party members of the UMP coalition has published yesterday the members, its executive committee members made up 25. Mr. Ali Guelleh Abubakar have passed from General Secretary Assistant to Vice President responsible. He became the Fruit third of personality. First time woman and young intellectual leader became members of the Fruit Party. Ali Muhammad Adu, Ugure Kifle Ahmed, Yusuf Musa Dawale, Mr. Ibrahim and the spokesperson Hamadou remain at their usual places. The Fruit Party is one of the most important UMP forces who chose the head of state, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, for the 2016 at the 8th January 2016 UMP convention.
The National Committee of Human Rights, President Ali Mohamed Abdou, and his office has received this morning a delegation of Forbid International Labour. The International Labour Delegation, led by Dr. Moumar Enaida as well as Mr. Franco Amato, was accompanied by Hassan Ibrahim Mohamed, Labour Director, Employment and Social Security, as well as Ikram Awale. During the intervention with the National Committee Human Rights President, there were questions of agreements signed by the Djiboutian government in the area of labor.
Within the collaboration of the Ministry of Agriculture, Water, Livestock and Fisheries, responsible for fisheries research, and the National Union of Egyptian Women, UNFD, Organization of United Nations Food and Agriculture Organized, known as FAO, in support with the Prefecture of Obor, distributes PISH and input of the project Emergency Assistance Program to secure refugees population of Yemen and their house in the region of Obor. January 2018-2015 has in Obor this project founded by FAO and aims to provide emergency assistance to secure the livelihood of the Yemenis refugees and their house in Obor region, and especially identifies support to the most vulnerable population. Food insecurity in the region of as strategic priorities of intervention. Since the worsening of the crisis in Yemen in March 2015, a large inflow of refugees arrived in the region of Obor in Djibouti. In May 5, 2015, more than 9,700 people from 68 different nationalities arrived. These represent a substantial increase in population in Obor, and their livelihood is based mainly on livestock production, although he also practices vegetable growing and fishing. House communities of the region suffer for their part, increased the pressure on the existing food system and about available resources such as access and water availability. It is in this context that the FAO office, in partnership with the UNFD, and distribute inputs, PISH, and including colors, net, hook, and lines, and the long line 300 beneficiaries invite into 5 groups of seniors, Obor City, Daily, in Gordoria, and Gorangar.
The Djiboutian Kung Fu Wushu Federation has organized yesterday at the Guled Stadium a demonstration session practice for more than 120 youth. It was being organized by Professor Ali Muhammad Umar, also known as Black Blade Mao, 70-level expert national Kung Fu and also Wushu, and also the technical director of the federation, Hassan Ali Loita. The Djiboutian Kung Fu Wushu Federation account, also called Addis Ababa Instructor Federation, who will present with the federation Kung Fu Wushu. The Djiboutian Federation Kung Fu Wushu organized this demonstration to detect the best for the participants in a great demonstration that will bring together over 300 young national squad.
How to defend myself against the people who's stronger than me.
I like Kung Fu because he's fan, and I want to imprint.
Okay, what have you learned about this sport?
I'll learn. Yeah.
The Republic of Djibouti and the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia to maintain the relation of cooperation and friendship of a long date, 23 years after the final judgment of the railway Ethiopian-Djibouti. The construction of the new railway line linking the two capitals of Ethiopia and Djibouti will future strengthen the economic integration and trade between the two countries. For more detail, let's listen at this report. On June 11, 2050, a historic day was completed the work of installing the rail of the segment Galilee-Nagald. Exactly 2 years after asking the first stone on the same seat, the President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Guelleh, has also sponsored the completion of the work of installing rail on stretch Galilee-Nagald, a step change which complete the first phase of construction of the new rail line along of 756 kilometers, including 282 kilometers on the national territory. The construction of this new railway intervened 23 years after the final judgment of the railway Djibouti-Ethiopia because of its obsolescence after more than 19 years of service. The renaissance of the train embodies a project of major interest for the strategic ambition of Djibouti, wishing to position itself as a regional hub, a platform for the exchange and distribution of property and goods. It is Chinese ambition which is also expressed through this project. The China Civil Engineering Construction Corporation is conduct the work, and the Bank of Import-Export Exim Bank financed it of $40 billion. Operational this year 2060, this new railway line went to be one of the key stages of economic integration and trade between the two countries. Some 1,500 direct jobs have seen the light of day since the launch of the construction of work, and double is expected once the train is going to enter service. This is what was stated by the Minister of Transport and Equipment. President Gili, which is mounted to the edge of the first convoy of test of the line of the railway still in shipyard, has stressed the symbolic character of the installation of this new rail, which consolidate historical relation and the strengthening of the integration of the two economic countries. And for the good functioning of this new line, a railway, some 26 agent engineering and senior technician of the Djiboutian Society of Railway follow an accelerating training. These future managers and officials are trained to the Faculty of Technology of Addis Ababa to inquire about the skill needed in view of the pending development of the future line of a railway. With a speed of 120 km, this train will reduce the less than 10 hours of the duration of the journey between Djibouti and Addis Ababa, which currently lasts a middle of 2 days by the road. In fact, the future rail corridor will have a 20 railway station, shopping center and various shops.
And now on the international scene, as the China president will be visiting Egypt, number of agreements that will align the economic interests and development goals of China and Egypt are expected to be signed when Chinese President Xi Jinping visit Cairo in January. The project will be comprehensive, focusing on the areas of electricity, transportation, construction, agriculture, industry, and education. Trade between Egypt and China amount to $12 billion per year, and $11 billion of which are imported from China. There are approximately 1,220,000 Chinese companies operating in Egypt in the sector of industry, construction, and service, which $500 million in investment, according to the Egyptian Businessman Association, which called EBA. Egypt has officially joined the Skills Road Economic Belt Trade in the Union, which Economic and 1912 Chinese and Foreign Association, in cooperation with the Shanghai Chamber of Commerce. EBA was chosen to present Egypt in the Skills Road Trade Union, but also boost the economy.
A $20 million fund to teach Muslim women in the UK to speak English will tackle segregation and help them resist the lure of extremism. David Cameron said while there was no causal connection between poor English and extremism, language lesson will make a community more resilient. Mr. Cameron said. Let's listen to Saeed Mohammed.
The British Prime Minister David Cameron has pledged €25 million for English class for women in isolated communities. He said there were 190,000 British Muslims who spoke little or no English, and Britain needed to take on the backward attitude of some men whom he said exert damaging control over wives, sisters and daughters. The British leader said while there were no direct link between poor English language skill and extremism, those who were not able to integrate into the British society were at risk of being more susceptible to extremist ideologies. He said, "We want to build a more integrated, cohesive, one-nation society where everyone can make the most of their talents. We can't have a country of opportunities if some people can't speak the language. In many cases it is no fault of their own, because they have been put in a situation where they are encouraged not to integrate, not to go out, not to learn the language and that's not good enough. That needs to change in our country, and this proposal will make sure it does. In addition to the money pledged from October this year, the government will be testing those who have come in Britain on a spousal visa to check if their language skills have improved. David Cameron has added, someone can move here with a very basic English and there is no requirement to improve it over time. We will change that. We will now say if you don't improve your fluent English, that could affect your ability to stay in the UK, David Cameron told in a newspaper.
The Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump is entering unfamiliar territory even by his larger-than-life standard as members of the British Parliament hold a debate over a petition calling for the U.S. businessman turned politician to be banned from the country. Let's listen with more details.
A petition to bar Donald Trump from entering Britain was the object of debate at British House of Parliament. More than 500,000 citizens put their name to the petition, and topics are considered for parliamentary discussions if they reach 100,000. Last month, Donald Trump provoked controversy with his comments that Muslims should be banned from entering the United States after 14 people died in a shooting spree in California by two Muslims whom the FBI said had been radicalized. The debate will not be followed by a vote. There is no reason why we shouldn't admire America and admire her history and her contribution to democracy over many centuries, but also object to particular individuals, said the MP Paul Flynn. But I don't want to assist Donald Trump in any way, and I think that is the view of nearly all MPs. We could perversely, by banning him, increase his standing amongst his supporters in America. Only the Home Secretary Theresa May can issue an order banning entry into Britain, and Prime Minister David Cameron has said that while Trump's comments were divisive, he does not favor barring him.
And to end up this edition, the famous filmmaker, director Spike Lee and actress Jada Pinkett Smith say they will boycott next month's Academy Awards ceremony because a black actor was shut out for nomination, and the Academy acknowledged it needed to do more to promote diversity. The Oscar acting nominees announced on Tuesday lacked black performance for a second straight year, leading to the revival of the Twitter feed #HosterSoWhite that emerged in 2015.
This is it for this edition. Thank you for being with us and have a wonderful evening.
Préparez-vous à rire. Canal+ lance le Parlement du Rire, sa toute première émission humoristique 100% africaine. À l'affiche, Maman et ses 3 vice-présidents invitent le meilleur de l'humour africain. Au programme, des parlementaires et un public déchaîné. Et surtout du rire et encore du rire.
Je compte sur vous pour faire exploser l'applaudissement.
Et ce n'est pas tout. Découvrez une programmation hilarante avec de l'action tournée en dérision sur Canal+. La nouvelle série Ton pied mon pied sur Nollywood TV. L'excellence du stand-up sur A+, et les meilleurs talk shows sur BET. Ce mois-ci, on est tous unis pour le meilleur et pour le rire avec les bouquets Canal+. Et même le prix du décodeur à 5 000 francs vous donne le sourire. Et la parabole est offerte.